"You look terrible," Naveer said, concerned. "Maybe you should sit this race out. It's just a shakedown cruise for the new drive anyway." "No way." Marcus steadied himself against the console. "I need to monitor the drive. It's still experimental and I'm not ready to hand it over to anyone else yet." Chief Engineer Marcus Webb knocked over his third cup of coffee that morning, watching it spill across the navigation console like the universe itself had nudged his elbow. Webb, for the love of Captain Naveer, grabbed a towel. "That's the third one today." "Sorry, Captain, I'm just—" Marcus rubbed his eyes. He hadn't slept properly in 2 weeks, not since they'd installed the prototype quantum resonance drive. Every night he'd lie in his bunk, feeling something humming just at the edge of perception. Not a sound, not a vibration, something else. "Go get some rack time before the race starts." "That's an order," Naveer barked while Webb finished cleaning up the spill. Follow Sci-fi Shorts for more Marcus Webb files. The Lunar Mars Challenge was the biggest race in the solar system. 60 ships, 1 lap around Mars, back to lunar orbit. First across the line won a military contract worth billions. Their ship, the Constellation, had never been faster. When working properly, the new quantum drive bent space in ways traditional engines couldn't match. If only Marcus could stop dropping things. The race started clean. Constellation shot forward, the quantum drive purring with an efficiency that made Marcus's chest ache with something like pride. Or maybe indigestion. Hard to tell anymore. Then the accident started. Marcus tripped over a cable, one that hadn't been there a second ago, and stumbled into the drive control panel. His hand hit 3 buttons in sequence. Accidentally, the ship lurched sideways just as a competitor fired thrusters exactly where they'd been. The blast missed by meters. "Nice dodge," the pilot called back. Marcus stared at his hand. That wasn't a dodge. What was that? Around Mars, things got stranger. A coolant line burst. Marcus happened to be standing right there with a repair kit he'd grabbed for no particular reason. A navigation error almost sent them into Mars's atmosphere. Marcus sneezed, hit the correction key with his elbow, and they pulled up just in time. The crew started calling him Lucky Webb. But Marcus didn't feel lucky. He felt connected, like he could sense where the ship needed to be, what it needed to do, even though his conscious mind was drowning in exhaustion. Then disaster struck. A Chinese ship, desperate and reckless, clipped their port stabilizer on the lunar approach. The Constellation spun, alarms screaming, trajectory shot to hell. They were going to miss the finish line and crash into the lunar surface. Marcus's hands moved before his brain caught up. He diverted power from life support to the starboard thrusters. Suicidal, except it wasn't. He felt the drive respond, felt it bend space in ways the manual said were impossible. The ship twisted, defying physics, correcting course through pure geometric absurdity. And then he understood. Rendezvous. The quantum drive didn't just bend space, it bent probability. And somehow, through his insomnia, through his scattered thoughts and clumsy hands, he'd synced with it. Every accident had been the drive working through him, choosing the luckiest possible outcome. "Webb, what the hell are you doing?" Naveer shouted as more warnings blazed. "Trusting it," Marcus whispered. He closed his eyes, stopped trying to think, and just felt. The ship moved like a living thing. It slipped through impossible gaps between competitors, found pockets of space that shouldn't exist. The quantum drive sang, and Marcus sang with it, his exhausted mind finally in perfect harmony with the machine. The Constellation crossed the finish line 3 seconds ahead of second place. When they docked, the crew was celebrating. Marcus was asleep at his station, finally at peace. The quantum drive hummed contentedly in the engine room. Its resonance matched perfectly to the frequency of human intuition. Captain Naveer looked at the readouts, then at his sleeping engineer. "Someone call the physics department," she said quietly. "I think we just proved magic is real. Have you ever felt lucky at exactly the right moment? Comment your story, and follow for more sci-fi adventures."